Hello, hi, Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to the Buddha Dharma TV English program. I am Karen Tan. We begin our today's program with a sermon by a popular Buddhist monk from the USA, Bande Vimala, who travels the world to share the guidance and wisdom of the Buddha with people of all faiths. Sent by choice to a Buddhist temple at the age of 13, Bande completed 6 years of formal training and received his higher ordination at age 20 in the city of Kandy in his native land of Sri Lanka. At this stage, a Buddhist monk is typically encouraged by custom or inclination to continue in strictly formal studies. He has devoted his time to helping others by promoting the message of inner peace and spiritual transformation through his Triple Gem Society, where he serves as spiritual director. He has touched lives of many around the world, currently based in Princeton, New Jersey in the USA. He continues to travel globally, sharing his spiritually enlightened and inspiring message of the Buddha. This is a two-part talk. Please welcome Bande Vimala to speak on an introduction to Buddhism program. This is the second and the final part of his talk.
The compassion is a pure positive energy. When you experience it, you feel nurtured. When you express it, you nurture others. And so we need to cultivate compassion. So in order to cultivate compassion, we think that, may my parents or friends or family members, all living beings be free from pain and suffering. May they experience no discomfort, and may they be healthy. So we are thinking, like, if I go to a place where somebody is has had an accident, and somebody that is very close to you and in deep pain and struggling with all kinds of physical discomfort, immediate reaction is like sadness, and you get sometimes crushed by what you see, and you get numb, you don't know what to do, what to say, you feel like crying. And this is all that triggers that come from normal emotional reactions. But if you bring compassion to that moment, means into breathing into your heart and feeling a positive energy and observing the pain that person is going through and blessing that person with positive thoughts, and you're not overwhelmed by what other person is going through, and you don't get lost in the reaction to the pain that you see. That requires a lot of discipline. When somebody needs you the most, you are abandoning that person. When you, let's say that when somebody is in seriously ill, and if somebody close to you, your parents or somebody, that is when you need the love and compassion and positive energy, healing energy, happiness. And you need to, that is what heals the person. But we always do exactly opposite. We get disturbed, we get sad, and we cry, and they see we cry, and then they are in deep pain, so our reaction get ourselves into a deep pain, and then there is a connection of pain, connection with pain. And there is no healing energy. So when somebody is really, in pain, we need to be compassionate. Even at home, When somebody is mean to you, scream at you, step back. Pay attention to yourself and relax and pay attention to that person. Suddenly what you see? Somebody in pain. So when you see somebody in pain, what happens? You feel compassion, which means that only wish is, may you be free from your pain. But you don't tell it. What happens is you naturally, that awareness rises and you see what that person is experiencing. You have no desire to intensify that pain by screaming back. You understand? You have no desire. Why? The compassion. And you might say something, or you might walk away, or you might say a few words. You will do what needed to be done to allow that person to become calm. You will never feel like a loser. You will never feel like it. You surrendering to that moment make you noble. But most of us can't do it. So that we call compassion. And I think we don't have too much time because of that. I briefly share with you about Satipatthana Sutra, and today, since it is a discussion of meditation, the samatha is all about imagining, cultivating positive self-images in your mind, and to replace the negative images that are constantly triggering negative emotions within you. You understand it? And thinking positive thoughts or harmonious and realistic thoughts, so you won't be lost in this illusory perceptions, and then allow the negative emotional triggers to take over your mind, and then you drag yourself in pain. The next thing is then vipassana. And vipassana it's a system of systematic introspection, how we systematically cultivate introspective awareness so that you will be able to cultivate the introspective awareness, at the same time see everything for what it is and as it is. So systematic introspective awareness, or cultivating systematic introspection, we call it vipassana. Vipassana. So commonly it is known as, what is it commonly known as? Mindfulness practice, Vipassana is like a mindfulness practice. I think when you closely look at the Pali words and trying to understand the meaning from the original teachings of the Buddha, it's very clear. It refers to cultivating systematic introspection. Introspection, what does introspection mean? Introspective awareness means that you focus the attention on you. So what is the difference? When you do samatha, you think and you take the thoughts, purify the mind by positive thoughts, and thoughts get you into a tranquil state as the mind get purified with your own positive thoughts, right? In samatha. In vipassana, we don't think. We don't purposely, intentionally think. But we learn, one thing that we learn is to observe our thinking. One thing. Observe our thinking. It is called Dhamma. So one thing that we do, that there are 4 ways, because systematically we cultivate, and one is called a kaya anupassana. Kaya means the body, and cultivating awareness of the reality of the body by tuning in and feeling and connecting with it. Because that is when you really become humble and began to see the lows and flows, biological lows and flows are maintaining this situation, this body, and there is nothing to be egotistical about this. And because of that, you are more powerful and more strong, and you can be more realistic in the way that you deal with the realities of life. So you cultivate kaya anupassana. And there are many aspects of kaya anupassana. One is in kaya anupassana and the body, the first one is called anapanasati. Part of kaya anupassana is anapanasati. Anapanasati means practicing conscious awareness of the breath, breathing. Awareness of breathing. So, why is it is kaya? Kaya means physical, right? Kaya means physical. Why? The breath is physical. The sensation is physical. And so, it is an observing that physical process of the flow of your breath and the sensation that you experience with the breath and the biological changes that are constantly occurring in each second as you breathe in and breathe out. And awareness of breathing helped us. It is a part of kaya anupassana. Kaya means, the first one is the kaya anupassana, is called anapanasati. Anapanasati means awareness of breathing, in and out breath, and awareness means introspective awareness, objective attention. Objective attention means you don't get involved with what happens, you sharpen your ability to pay attention to it. Did you get it? It's a very simple way to know it. You don't get involved with what's happening, but you sharpen your ability to pay attention to what's going on. And so, by sharpening your attention, you notice the let's say the breathing, and there are many reasons this kaya anupassana practice is very effective. We can go a long way into a deep mental transformation through the practice of kaya anupassana, especially the anapanasati. We call anapanasati in and out breath, awareness of in and out breath. We can go a long way. And there are many reasons. One of the things that is so clear, why we can discipline and train the mind so effectively so that the emotional agitations will settle in and you will feel peace in the mind. And one thing is when you breathe, I always say that when you breathe, you always breathe in the present moment. Present moment, it is happening now. Present moment has higher levels and lower levels of, you can describe it in many different ways, but generally, when you breathe, you don't breathe in the last moment, you don't breathe in the next moment, the breath is happening now. You understand? The Buddha teaches us that if you really want to be in touch with the reality of life and transform your mind, you have to break this cycle of constant, repetitive cycle of fantasy, the thoughts. So in order to do that, you bring the attention into the present moment. One way to bring into attention to the present moment is bring it into the breath. Because the breath is not happening in the last moment, it's not happening in the next moment. It's only happening now. So if the mind flows with the breath, what happens? You're there with it. You're there with it. what is disturbing constantly? Reactions, mental reactions that get triggered constantly from the memory, to the past or to the future, right? With the past, we are in conflict with the past and the future constantly. Somebody is sitting here in a quiet place, in a cottage or something, might be going crazy in the mind, because they could be stressed, they could be anxious, and they can isolate themselves, but the mind cannot be easily taken away from all, conditioned, habitual thinking and repetitive emotions that are constantly there within us. So, in that very simple thing, as we said, Kaya Anupassana also helped us. Kaya Anupassana, looking at the body, and then you begin to see the level of stress. That's why I said every time, all the time, when I meditate with my body few minutes. I know for sure when the body gets settled, my attention becomes clearer. If the body is so tense and stressed, and try to focus and try to control my breath, it is going to be a struggle. So the Kaya Anupassana actually is the cultivating awareness of the body, connecting with the body, spending some time with the body, freeing the body from stress, allow the mind to slow down. And it helps us to maintain focus better. So the relaxation and introspection goes together, because the sharpness of the attention is always supported by a relaxed state of body. A tense state of body creates certain agitations, and you can maintain focus. Do you understand? So that is how realistic what Buddha saw 2,600 years ago, that how the mind works and how we maintain this constant agitated state of mind, and the real spiritual journey is purifying the mind, transforming the mind, changing the mind, and becoming a perfect human being. Not even perfect, a better human being. So people ask, why do we meditate? I said, honestly, I want to become a better human being. Because if I am a better human being, I have almost everything I want, if I am a good human being. Because your goodness gives you such great comfort, and you're content. Do you understand? You're content. You feel a sense of contentment. So it's a good place to begin. Anyway, so then having a deep insight into your body, into your feelings, into your emotions, and the Kaya Anupassana, having an insight into your body, Vedana Anupassana, cultivating awareness of your sensations, the experience of sensations, which is full of sensations, or constantly the sensation is the center of our suffering, constantly, because if we are deprived of positive, pleasant sensations, we feel miserable. And then the Chitta Anupassana. And Chitta, I told you that people say the mind, but in this sense, when we look at the scriptures and look at some of the original Pali terms, I think the Chitta has to do with the emotional excitements, the mental, like we can say emotions, like anger, fear, sadness, worry, and all these things, and how you observe them, and how you understand them, how that awareness allow you to manage them and eventually stop them and even further going to be completely free from them. So we can train that awareness of sensation, because we were working. I talked with this a neuropsychologist one time, and we were working on people who are crazy, little bit like kids who can't control, because actually they're on medication. So in order to help them to get control of medication and reduce it, and some people, as you said, that it happens. Suddenly they get up and throw everything out and hate everybody, and they're out of control and they don't know what they're doing. Sometimes they're so frustrated why they did it. And one child, a teenager I met, and he's so frustrated because he doesn't know why it happens. And after that, he's even angrier, telling that, why did I do this? It's, throw away things and hit the mother or something like that, and out of control. So he doesn't know. So the best way, because he can't think, he cannot control his mind, but if he can remember to pay attention to the body and notice the physical changes and sensations, he can slow down. Not by thinking, changing your thoughts, but simply being aware of the state of your body and relaxing it. You understand? And you can try this when you're angry. You go home. You can try this. Just don't think too much, and pay attention to your body and bring that body into a relaxed state and observe the sensations and tensions in the body, what's going on. Breathe out and relax. And the mind get into a better focus. So the Kaya Anupassana, Vedana Anupassana, Chitta Anupassana, Dhamma Anupassana. Dhamma, many people give all kinds of definitions and all that, but here again, your thoughts. And simply to say the thought processes that are there, or mental images that are in your mind. And you begin to understand, you pay attention to your thoughts, in other words. Sometimes in practice you just sit and try to focus on your attention on your breathing, and allow the mind to slow down a little bit, and the thoughts that are going there, and you only recognize, I'm thinking about the past. I don't need to think about the past. Come to the present. I'm thinking about the future. No. I need to be in the present moment, because I don't need to go into these fantasies. So the mind is constantly floating into the past and future, and getting triggered from the memory, and keep floating in some kind of a world of fantasy. And that is where the misery and some pain and all these things exist as well, and sometimes float in a pleasurable experiences as well. But even that produces anxiety. And in one of the future lectures we can talk about that aspect as well, and the pleasant experience, pleasant sensations or pleasure that we get for sensual stimulation also eventually turning into a suffering or unhappiness, because when that moves away, missing it produce anxiety and loneliness, and wanting it again, causing you stress and anxiety, and not being able to get it, causing you stress and anxiety. You can see a whole cycle of it, how it is happening. And so this is called 4 foundations of mindfulness, but some of our teachers describe it as introspective awareness. And so we cultivate that. So you can see that, when you think about Buddha's teachings or Buddhism, it's all about you. It's all about your mind. It's all about your thoughts, feelings, sensations. And it is about how to change yourself. The whole teaching about that. And not only say, don't be bad. Buddha didn't stop there and say, don't be bad. But he said, you're bad because of this, but you can become good if you do this. And this is how you get there. Right? Don't need to believe in a God. It doesn't matter whether there is a God or not. And you don't have to believe in anything. And you only have to learn to pay attention to yourself, and from there cultivate self-awareness. And then you become a happy person, and then you become a blessing to yourself and blessing to the others, and that is how you find meaning in life. Okay? So next week we are planning to discuss Buddhist ethics, and I will give you a short note how we are going to approach this and discuss this, and I will send you maybe at least one article to read, and we will talk about 5 precepts and different aspects. So please take time to, if possible, to think and read what we will send. Since we have a very short time, I would like to give yourself an opportunity to ask questions or share your frustrations. So you're welcome. We have a microphone. Who is having the microphone? And she has the microphone. You can turn it on, yeah? Anybody have any questions?
Thank you. Yeah, when you were talking about compassion earlier on, and you said about the negativity of getting into the pain of the other person or whatever, keeping it detached, I'll use that right, if it's the correct word. Does the pain that you feel of that other person not create empathy and then compassion as well? Do you get my point?
Yes, I understand, but empathy, it depends on what your state of mind is. If you are disturbed and negatively charged and unhappy, there is no compassion.
Yeah, I get that. I was meaning more from the perspective of you're watching somebody that you care for, and rightly or wrongly, I would think it's human that you're going to feel that feeling in some sort. May not be exactly the same feeling, but that feeling, does it then trigger the word compassion and the feeling of compassion, which then becomes a positive?
This is a very good question.
And they're also linking into
yes,
that word
very
empathy.
Good question, because many people ask me that question. They said, I feel his pain, and I had to feel his pain in order to feel compassion, and I feel her pain, and that is what really bring compassion. But the problem is, nobody can feel other person's pain. Not possible. You can't feel somebody else's pain. When you say, I feel your pain, you're talking about your reaction to that pain.
Yeah.
But how you feel that pain has a lot to do with how much negativity you pour into the reaction. Somebody said, I feel your pain, may be completely disturbed and crying because you have loaded with the negativity, your reaction is so high and charged with so much negativity, and you are completely out of control and disturbed. And you can say, I feel his pain, I feel the pain. But it is not true. The truth is, you have poured so much negativity into your own reaction, and that trigger and produces the anxiety, and you feel the pain. But it has nothing to do with his pain or her pain.
Okay, thank you.
Let's have a break and listen to a beautiful song from the Wayfarers.
Row here, rippled its water, tinged with the moonlit tide. Mountain as high to Meru, gazed on with wondering pride, Lamps in their starry orbits, stopped for a while in pain. Gods in their shade
program is the Dhammapada. The Dhammapada means the path of Dharma, of truth, of righteousness, of the universal law. Buddha's teaching is an ongoing path, a way of perfection which anyone can follow to the highest good. The Dhammapada is a map for this journey. The verses of the Dhammapada can be read and appreciated simply as a philosophy, and it is a sure guide to the highest goal life can offer. Here is Professor Bande Sivali to present a brief sermon on the verse number 109 of the Dhammapada, and it is on the chapter 8.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening. Welcome to the Dhammapada program on Buddha Dharma TV. Today we are going to discuss verse number 109 of the Dhammapada, the chapter 8. And we are going to discuss 109. It goes as Abhivadana Silissa Nichang Vaddhapachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vaddanti Ayu Vanno Sukham Bala. Chattaro Dhamma Vaddanti Ayu Vanno Sukham Bala. The literal meaning is, if a person is in the habit of constantly honoring and respecting those who are developed and mature, their lives improve in 4 ways. In 4 ways. Their lifespan soon increases. Their complexion becomes clearer. Their good health and comfort will improve. Not only that, their vigor and stamina too will increase. How nice to have all these what we need in life. So that means anyone who is in the habit of constantly honoring and respecting elders, the mature, and their lives improve in 4 ways. Don't forget the 4 ways. What? Span soon increases their lifespan. The longevity, gain the longevity. Their complexion becomes clearer. Complexion. Their good health and comfort will soon improve. Their vigor and stamina also will increase. So keep in mind these things. Why? Because the develop and the mature, how we, by respecting, gain these things. This stanza that I just uttered extols the virtue of honoring those who are spiritually evolved. In terms of traditional commentaries, there are 4 categories that should be considered as mature and as deserving honor. There are 4 categories. Jati-buddha, mature or higher in terms of race. Among some groups of people, there is the convention that some categories of among some people should be considered superior. Though this form of superiority is not accepted in Buddhism, the commentaries recognize its existence. People talk about race. They talk about European race, Asian race, African race, Middle Eastern race, and American race. There are no races. there is only one race, human race. Whether you were born in Asia or Africa or Europe or Latin America or any part of the world, you belong to only one race, that is called human race. According to geographical conditions, there are some differences, maybe in complexion, maybe in height, maybe in the size. Other than that, there are no differences. Hunger for Asians or Africans or Americans or Europeans, it remains the same. Our blood is the same. Our breath is the same. Therefore, only one race. Never says that you don't belong to my race doesn't belong to your race, our race is superior than your race. This is very foolish thought. This is the thoughts of the uncivilized, undeveloped mind, the production of uncivilized and undeveloped mind. There's no races, only one race, human race. Therefore, don't try to think that my race is superior than your race. No. When people, those who think that term, they will end up in animal level because it belongs to the animal level. Only animals can think that way, not a human being. So, mature or higher in terms of human, not in so-called races. There's no reason. Human. All are humans. Then, Gotta Buddha. Gotta Buddha means deserving honor due to caste or clan superiority. In some systems, this kind of superiority is accepted, but not in Buddhist system. Therefore, Buddhist system does not accept so-called caste system or so-called race system. Only one race, that is human race. And the Vayo Buddha, superiority through age. In most cultures, this form of honor is valid. Those younger in years always respect those who are superior to them in age. It's a simple thing to understand. Guna Buddha, superior in terms of character. In the Buddhist Sangha hierarchy, this system prevails. In the Buddhist system, all laymen honor all Buddhist monks because they are committed to certain superior principles of living, though the Buddhist monks may have been initiated into the order only a few days ago. So superior to, in terms of character, not otherwise. We in the society, we know some people do not want to respect elders, teachers, and also the kind ones, those who are generous, those who are full of loving kindness. People do not think that it is a quality that we should respect. It's utterly wrong. We do not worship or pay homage to a piece of flesh or bones. We respect to the one's character, noble qualities, not a physical body. Therefore, one who is always respecting the elders, if he is in the habit of constantly honoring, constantly, not one time, not according to the occasion, no, constantly, as a habit, honoring and respecting those who are developed and mature. This to come to that level, one needs to have a developed mind. Developed mind comes as a result of the noble qualities. When we are in a good situation, happy mood, there is something is working in our physical body, a kind of what you call secretes into our blood. But that hormone, kind of hormone, that will carry it out throughout our physical body, and that will reflect on our face. It is in a good way and it's also bad. When somebody is angry, immediately that anger happens. At that time, a hormone called adrenaline secretes into our blood that is carried out immediately throughout our body. Then we can see his anger on the face. It obviously we can see his face goes dark, pale, and very difficult to look at. That type of people was frightening. That is a bad hormone. When you are good, when you are happy mood, at that time also a hormone secretes into blood that is carried out throughout the vessels. Immediately, then you can also see on the face, that is reflected on the face, then you're pleasant looking, nice looking. So that is two different hormones. So this is how, when you respect elders, teachers, parents, noble ones, you gain these noble qualities. Like you get a complexion, longevity, and also good health, comfort, and also vigor and stamina. This is scientific. So this is how happening. This is physiology, kind of. But if you go deep into that, then we can see the difference between those who are respectful of others, those who are not. We can see that. So therefore, Buddha says also to respect elders. It is a noble quality taught by Buddha. Respect elders, teachers, parents, worthy ones. You see how it is nice. If everybody in the society, if we are doing this, a society will be full of gentlemen, full of noble people. All these chaos and troubles and disturbances. Why? Because we do not respect others, elders, superiors in the sense those who are good in noble qualities. And if we can respect these people, elders and teachers and our noble ones, worthy ones, then society will be full of nice people. And this is what we are missing in today's world. Rather than developing these noble qualities, we improve, we develop anger, hatred, violence, bigotry. All these things we develop, and thereby inviting yourself troubles. Keep in mind, before you throw mud at others, you dirt your hands first. Therefore, when you hurt, you have done great damage to yourself before you do any damage to others. So keep in mind, therefore, try to learn these good, noble things that we are learning from this verse. That is to honor and respect who are developed and mature, who are elders and teachers, parents, elders, noble ones. This is a noble thing. It's a blessing indeed. These are the things that we have to learn today. And for this, may you have the courage, wisdom. May you all be blessed.
Today's program comes to a close. If you have any questions about the content or would like to share your valuable feedback, we welcome you to contact us anytime at info@buddhadharmatv.com. Our team is dedicated to spreading the Buddha's wisdom and compassion, with the sincere wish that these serene and profound teachings may reach the hearts of all those with affinity. May the unchanging light of the Buddha's wisdom guide you on the bright path of awakening and practice. Thank you sincerely for watching and being with us. May the sweet dew of the Dharma nourish your heart, bringing peace and joy. We see you again at the same time next week. Namo Buddhaya.